So welcome to Social Media Marketing 101 for your church or your Unity ministry. And so I'm Reverend Johanna Kelly, and like I said in my message today, I learned some things on my own. I don't have an MBA or an MPA or anything like that, or a marketing degree, but I did learn some things over a couple of years that have really helped me market to other Unity ministers or market other Unity ministries and other New Thought churches out there. And so I'm employed by at least a half a dozen Unity ministries. So, all right. And I like to start every class off in prayer because, Unity, the foundation is prayer. And so let us center into this time and get grounded into this message and into this teaching. So, and then, so the Spirit can just kind of burst forth in through and as us. So we just call on the divine guidance of the infinite indwelling Spirit within. We call on that wisdom, that guidance, that intelligence to bring forth the best for this ministry, knowing that God is the giver of all good things, and we allow those gifts, whether it be in marketing or it show up as helping hands for this ministry. We allow our good to come forth, to burst forth through us in wonderful, unique ways. And for this, we give thanks. We say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so it is, it can be no other way. Amen. All right, everyone. Okay, so we're going to wait for a board member to get started. Are they on?
I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. And so I just want to give you a little bit of a background. So I've been doing marketing just for a couple of years, and what I found is that Unity ministries are often unique. People are not too unique, but Unity ministries I've found are very unique in the way they've marketed to people. And I've worked with Unity Worldwide Ministries and in certain things to kind of assist them when their materials were not working for the demographics that I wanted to market to. So today I'm going to be talking about, right now, Facebook marketing, also Instagram. Now we can talk about Snapchat, but I know there are some ministries doing that. At this point, I don't really talk about that too much. We can talk about Pinterest as well, and this is really going to be guided by the individuals that are going to be taking over this marketing ministry. So whoever that is, if you're taking notes for them, great. If you're part of it, even better. But this is really going to be your baby. This is going to, you're nurturing it and supporting it just to grow this ministry. And so I'm excited to bring what I know to the table and what has worked, and when I market to individuals seeking a spiritual family. And so I hope to convey those things to you. And please feel free to ask any questions as they may arise, or if you know something better, please feel free to interject and say, you know what, Johanna, that does not work anymore. This is what we found to be, or this is what I found to be a better resource. So, and this is just a basic one, just because a lot of Unity ministries, I have also found in my own demographic study, most Unity ministries are comprised of people who are 65 years or older. And so I know at Unity Church of Hawaii, our demographics, 67 plus, make up 80% of our membership. And so we only have 7% of the people that attend that are 25 and below. So when we're marketing, we want to look at, yes, who we're marketing to, who are currently sitting in our seats, but also what is the demographic that we want to kind of energize within this community. And everything, no matter whether it's marketing or opening up a new ministry to help feed the homeless or whatever, it always begins in prayer, because prayer helps to get the soil fertile in the mind. If it's not fertile in the mind of those that are running the ministry, you can expect no growth. And so these seeds, you have to plant seeds, and prayer is a wonderful way of planting the seed And we know that sometimes it doesn't grow in the season. Most often it doesn't grow in the season in which we plant it as this life cycle happens, but it will grow. And so, and our determination, the prayer that surrounds it, the consciousness that surrounds the ministry will determine how quickly. And remember that it's the Holy Spirit, God, the indwelling Christ that brings and fills these seats and that grows and expands this ministry. And so we're calling and leaning more into that and less on ourselves. Okay, so we did that. We plugged into the power of prayer. There we go. Okay, this is not going to be a class, so we don't have any agreements. Normally I teach this as a class. But so I wanted to know, I do need to, I guess, gauge what my audience is, because I wasn't able to get that information. So I need to know people's experience levels, and then also who's going to be part of this ministry to help grow it. And to help kind of nurture it, because it's going to need somebody. It's one thing to learn about something, and then it's another thing to do it. And with marketing or with social media, whatever it is, whatever platform that you decide to use later, you have to have a group of dedicated people who are willing to consistently work on it, or it's going to look like a product that isn't cared for.
I think we've had a marketing committee, right?
Yeah, no, we got, it's the kids and Kathy, who's supposed to be here, and
Okay, so we have kids, Kathy, and Jean. I see Jean in the back. I hear kids in the back, and
I think Kayla's on it as well.
Kayla's on it.
Something up there.
Okay, and whoever else. And so that's one thing that I would really like to see is when you have, people getting together for this, that this is a beautiful way to really get your message out to those that could be vacationing here, or who are in need of a good message. And so sometimes we're not looking at just filling our seats. We're about kind of spreading the word, the gospel, the good news. And when Unity of Kona can be known to give inspirational materials, then you just automatically grow that way, whether it's your online viewership. Do you guys live stream at all?
We don't. We upload services.
Okay, what's your fan base look like?
I do not know.
Who's in charge of your YouTube channel?
Diana.
Okay. 4 and 500?
4 and 5.
5 what?
5.
1,000? Oh, 4 to 5 people.
So it's
Okay.
It's mostly been a tool for our members who are snowbirds who are located on
Okay.
to catch services, or those who can't be here for service.
All right. Well, then that means that we have places to grow to. That means we have this expanded field. And that's actually some good news. So you have 4 to 5 dedicated people, and that's awesome, actually. No, that's, that means you're not starting from scratch, and then it does mean you're starting from scratch all in the same breath, but that at least you have a presence out there. You're not recreating or actually creating anything, and so you do have some people that, and do you know how often they upload? Is it weekly? Okay, weekly. How's your social media profile? What's your footprint?
We have Facebook, and we had a website. Both are, they're there, but they're not like.
Yeah, I see RevDev on your website
Right.
still. So
Nobody's maintaining it. And in fact, how it was maintained before is that the website company did everything. We haven't had something.
So One Each Technologies actually did the updates for you, because I see that you have the branding and you have their website, but so One Each Technologies would update it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Only if we ask them.
Okay.
If nothing's changed on it.
Okay.
That is matching.
Well, I would say immediately, sooner rather than later, you're going to want to update your message, because there could be people that come here and they might take a certain liking to RevDeb. Oh, she looks like and then they come here and then they find out, oh, she's transitioned already. And so just having something, even if you update it once a month, that I would say that's the bare minimum. Whenever you have something new, what is ideal is something new is always put on there. You want to keep it fresh. Now you don't want to change the layout, and I see that you bought into One Each Technologies platform as well. And so that's going to work for people that it works for, but it's an older demographic, and if you want to maybe get a bit of a younger feel, you're going to want to probably switch to a different platform or a different content management server, such as Joomla, because they're using Drupal, I believe, for yeah. So you're going to want, and I use WordPress for Unity Church of Hawaii, Unity Philippines, and a couple other ministries, just because WordPress, Apple Corporation, yes. WordPress.com. So we actually have, a paid where we pay into it, not the blog but .com is what we do. So you can go to, we're using this one service provider that they've been using for, to kind of host it and, give us stuff on their server called Tiger Tech. But it's not, I don't know what your contract with One Each Technologies, and you never know. The committee will decide, I suppose, the way they want to do or the way they want to go. And just because you branded the logo to have the Unity of Kona doesn't mean that you have to pay into One Each Technologies. And it's nothing against One Each Technologies, but when I was working with Unity in Australia and I was updating their website using their technology, it was so clunky and so cumbersome. I mean, and I would consider myself at least moderately, smart on these things. And I just don't see how they do it. So, it didn't have the ease and the flow. And if I wanted to add Flash or add certain things or wanted to change the layout, it just doesn't allow for that flexibility. It's a frame, and then you plug in stuff in the frame, and it may or may not render exactly what you said it would. So I would look into getting something that is a bit more easier, to update and to maintain. And at the very minimum, updating once a month. If you know your list of speakers for that month, then put that on there. If you know that in August, you're gonna be celebrating the month of Will, the 12 powers, then put that on there. And in October, you're gonna have a celebration. Put these things on there and have your calendar. I think maybe the calendar is updated. Do you know? No? No, that's okay. And so at least we know where we're at. So then we know, okay, this is where we're starting from. And so we can only get better from here. So we're kind of starting at ground zero, and now we know that we can rise at this point. So things will only get better, and when you start putting energy into growing your ministry, getting your group of dedicated volunteers, you're going to start to see things happen. You're going to start to see that you're going to get more volunteers, or you're going to get more helping hands, wherever, or your message you're going to have, instead of 4 to 5 people clicking on, you might get 10 next month, and then 25, and then 150, so it'll be something that happens, but you have to have the consciousness first in place, and then, and plant that seed, and then growing it. But making sure the content stays up to date is most important. So today we're going to just want to achieve some of the basics just to get started, because it's pretty easy to get started. It's really maintaining that, and you have already started. So it's really the maintaining or the maintenance of it. Now, do you have a Facebook page?
Yes.
How many fans? Yeah, and do you have a weekly newsletter or anything that goes out? Okay, and how many subscribers do you have to that?
I don't think I can tell how much.
Okay, and what type of email service provider do you use?
We just have
Okay. Have you thought about maybe switching over to like MailChimp or something like that? And it's free.
Yeah. We haven't really changed anything since that passed.
Okay, so.
It's just been, if there hasn't been anybody here.
Okay, and I'm guessing you ladies are with the marketing committee or no?
You are.
Oh, you need keys. Okay, so when we're looking at how what our voice is in the community, we're going to look at our website. look at our social media presence, and we're going to look at our newsletter. And, whether we're doing a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter or, whatever the frequency is, but making sure it looks fresh, it looks like something people want to read. I don't know what a Gmail newsletter would look like. Is it just, yeah.
It's just the text email or something.
Okay.
And it just goes to members.
Yeah.
It goes to members, okay. Or anybody,
So that's signed up, or anybody.
It's kind of general. Newsletter, gives a guest speakers, come up on events, special events,
okay.
volunteers.
Okay, so who's your graphics art or graphic artist?
Diana puts the email together. So
I mean, but like, who designs your graphics in the community?
nobody.
Nobody. Okay. All right. No. So what you're going to want to look at is I'd say your committee should be probably 5 people in size. People who love to do this stuff. You don't want to kind of twist anybody's arm in any of this. And who like to be creative, because there's programs, and I'm going to go through those programs as well, like Canva. You don't have to be a designer in order to design something beautiful. It can happen. There's programs out there that do it for you, and you just add a picture, and then it has font that's special looking, and you'll be able to create something that is appealing, aesthetically appealing to those that are looking at your newsletter or your website as well. So I'm guessing that today, am I correct, we want to achieve just getting some better ideas of where you want to go in marketing as well. Okay. Okay, nope, we're going to definitely, okay, so we have so many different social media platforms. I would say your main ones that you're going to want to concentrate on, because congregations unity-wide are 65 plus in age, definitely Facebook. And then you're going to want to do an Instagram account. Do you have an Instagram account?
We started one a long time ago and it may not be active, but I'm not sure if we have the password or anything any longer.
Okay.
So no, we don't have
We did.
a
So we did, it wasn't used very often, and we may have to make a new one considering it may pass with our friends.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Probably Rev Deb created it in my class before. So because so that's probably when it was created, because a bunch of Unity ministers created their organization accounts during that time. Okay, so social media statistics, just to let you know how big social media is, and I'm pretty sure I'm just preaching to the choir right now, but 98% of people say that the church uses social media. It's such an important way to communicate these days, and if you don't think so, then look at wherever you go. If people are no longer, go to a restaurant, go to the park, people are on their phone looking at other people's business all day long, not minding their own. And so we have come into this society where we're looking at what other people are doing, and we can use that to benefit the ministry in a constructive way. Now we can use that so where they're getting a powerful message or quote from Unity of Kona, or a new class that'll be here that you can target people based on their interests with social media marketing. If you pay a little bit of something else, sometimes ads only cost $5 to $25 to target hundreds to thousands of people in your area with a certain interest. And so you can use it to really start to grow interest in where Unity of Kona, is kind of buzzing in social media, or at least, they can look to this online presence to be somewhat of an inspiration as well. And so, and as of 2 years ago, or excuse me, this was done in 2018, 46.1% of churches say that social media is their strongest way of communicating or marketing their church. Now, one thing I do want to tell, part of marketing is inviting our friends. How many times a year do you have a invite your friend Sunday, or invite your neighbor, or tell something where you task the community, the congregation, to go out there and speak good words or invite their neighbor? Do you actively ask?
Not in the last 3 years.
Okay.
That I'm aware.
Okay. So
We have in the past.
yeah, word of mouth is really important. I think people forget about that. but word of mouth. So for every good experience somebody has somewhere, they're statistically speaking, they will tell about 25 people about their experience somewhere. So if you lifted their spirits, there's about 25 people out there that will know that Unity of Kona provided a great Sunday message or had a powerful Wednesday prayer meditation service or whatever have you. Or if you invite people, if you kind of task them to say, you know what, beginning in October is going to be, tell your friends all about us and invite them to church, month. And then where you're going to have a special visitor, where you're going to set up special pastries and things, activities for them so they can get to know your community a lot better. And if they have a good experience here, then each one of those people would tell 25 people. So there's ways of social media marketing where you can hit thousands of shotgun effect, or the word of mouth as well. And so word of mouth is still effective. Just because we have social media does not take out the face-to-face communication that people have with each other. And I want you to just keep that in mind because it's important. Ooh, is this battery about to go low? It's at 5%.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's some different platforms that you can start using. So you already have a Facebook account. Sounds like Rev Deb did create an Instagram account, and I'm going to say it was back in 2015. Was the last time I saw Rev Deb face to face. And so, Instagram account. Snapchat, there are churches using it, like Elevation Church or Worship Church in North Carolina uses it, but they're really just doing, I don't know if I agree with it completely, using Snapchat for church business. My 15-year-old daughter, she's streaking and everything, all these other things, and I'm just like, I don't know how that would work for churches. But I just wanted to give you an idea of the different platforms that are that are prevalent out there. And so I would say Pinterest is a great way that people don't think about, but you can have this is where you can have your beautiful, and this is where a graphic designer would come into play. You could have a beautiful prayer where you guys are known, where people are now starting to pin your prayer or pin, your artwork and stuff like that and sharing it with people, and you can put your logo at the bottom and where you're gonna start to generate interest that way. So people will start pinning your stuff. Twitter, we use Twitter at Unity Church of Hawaii. I just connected to Facebook. I'm not a big Twitter person when it comes to churches. It's just to do our live stream, to do our newsletter, and whatever else that we post on Facebook. Facebook I use for marketing our events that we have going on, and then also to do Facebook Live. So since I know that my demographics are 67 years of age or higher is our majority membership at Unity Church of Hawaii, I know that those individuals are going to be using Facebook as well. Our Instagram account, there's only 2 communities, they're not Unity, but they're New Thought, that I use Instagram with, just because it seems to have more traction with them. I would still advise maybe getting a new or resetting the Instagram account. And so because you can create, a flyer, different sizes, whatever, or whatever, some beautiful artwork and pin it on, or put it on Instagram, pin it to Pinterest, have it on Facebook. And do you guys do any Facebook Live videos or even Instagram Live? Okay. So the way that we've been using Live, and yes? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so I'll read it from so Instagram, social sharing app that uses pictures. When Instagram first started, does everybody remember? The people would just take pictures of their food. It was kind of weird. I used to call it the food app, and yeah, exactly. It kind of shares your photo, your life, and people, take beautiful photos. I would say exactly. Absolutely, and then you just post it, and then there you go, and then people would love it, and that's or then you get some followers that way, or it's just once you start to be known, or once you start to get known for creating like beautiful posters, inspirational, whatever people will start to follow you. People will start to share your stuff, or start saving your stuff. So. Which is important just because it just helps to kind of put in the mindset of people this new thought or this new way of thinking, which is over 100 years old or more actually, since Plato, Socrates. Well, Pinterest is, so when I pin something, it's similar, but you don't tell a story. You can tell a story with Instagram. Like I can actually, like some of my Instagram, so for my, so I have a personal account with some big followers, but when I post on there, I'm telling something about this picture this picture is showing something, and then I can write a line or two of what it's telling. Now I've seen churches out there that go into like almost an entire like sermon with their, I wouldn't suggest doing that. Or I seen a really cool one so there's this one church, like I think it's Inspire. No, it's not. It's the Elevation Church. If you go onto their Instagram account, the stuff that they create, I would say go create an Instagram account, download the app on your phone, because doing Instagram from your computer is almost null and void. It doesn't work the same way that Facebook works. And so you're going to have a completely different experience. Yes?
You mentioned Facebook, Instagram connection. I know now Facebook bought Instagram, so a lot of times if you have a feed on Instagram, it goes directly to your Facebook.
Yes.
And you have some control over how it shows up, but...
You can, so what they allow you to do is that you can connect the two, like you can connect your Facebook to your Instagram. And what I found is that you can control it. You can control every single post, whether or not it goes to your Facebook, and then on your Facebook account it's going to say posted from Instagram, or from Instagram post, or something like that. And so some of the stuff I want to share on Facebook, and some of it I just want to keep. So if you're trying to create unique content just for Instagram, and that's what a lot of companies do, where they know that they have a certain viewership on Instagram, they're going to have younger audience on Instagram, whereas on Facebook they're going to have somebody that maybe wants to read a lot of words or be told exactly what it is that they're seeing. So they would create two different posts, but Instagram, or Facebook and Instagram, gives the option of connecting the two, since Facebook bought Instagram a couple of years ago. So it does allow you to post simultaneously. And then there's also apps out there where you can connect all your social media to it, and then it's going to fire it off to your different platforms as well. And so those they were popular, I think, in 2010. All right, but I mean, right now, the apps themselves allow you to do that, and you can connect several different social media type things like Twitter and Facebook to Instagram. I think you can do Twitter from Instagram as well, yeah. And but to go with the live, I think we were doing Facebook Live, or we were talking about it, I find that videos on Facebook are for some reason, just really popular. So let's say that you're giving a sermon next week. So let's say midweek Wednesday, you would do a live video. You can either do it yourself, or you can have somebody film you, and you're going to talk, and you're going to be really excited about what's coming up. This Sunday, I'm going to be giving a sermon on, or a talk on, how to, change your left sock. It's going to be incredible. You're going to be transformed, changed, and, so you can really kind of pump up your audience to get excited about, coming here. Now, if you had live streaming available, you could reach, people like, join us live stream that way. But, oh, yes.
So I love the idea of live streaming, and I think that's a very interesting idea that we have not explored yet, and totally have not done that. We do record our services, but the only problem, and I'm trying to just maybe I'm thinking out loud right now, that we would maybe need, like I suppose I could bring like my computer. We use the church computer for the PowerPoint at the back. We do our service, but we have to edit it so much because we're not allowed to we distribute songs,
Uh-huh.
and we pay royalties for the songs, and we're not allowed to, even if we're just the one singing it, we can't show that live. So do you think,
You don't have a CCLI or what is it? I just paid it. Yeah, CCL.
are certain things being paid for that are okay?
We do have that.
But there
Our
are
previous,
certain
so
things cut
who
out.
we had as our musician before, he had all of our tech stuff,
Mhm.
all of our web presence and stuff. He was very leery about putting anything that wasn't
Our own
creation or anything like that on the internet for copyright.
Yeah.
Cut out all of our songs, so maybe do you think, so I'm trying to think about how to get around that, because I'm not exactly sure on the legality, but maybe we could do two things.
Yeah, so what we do is we pay a couple $100s a year so that we can sing those things. And then every 2 years they come back and say, during this period of time, how did you use our license? And so we give them, so every single week what the music director gives to me is the songs that we sing, the musician, who was the music by and everything else for our records. And then we keep a database of that. So whenever they come back and ask us, what did we do over a certain time period, I can just copy, paste, boom. There you go. From this date to this date, this is what we sung on these days, and this is who.
And maybe that's more why we haven't done it. We haven't had somebody just keep track.
Yeah, Larry did, but he's also saying don't.
Yeah, so and if you want to do like YouTube, they'll actually allow you to post it you can do YouTube live. No problem. And what they'll do is that they'll put an ad on your stuff, and you can kind of tell them exactly you don't want, R-rated, whatever it is on your content. So you can direct it to the ads, and so that's how you get away with licensing on YouTube. So you can actually post your stuff on to YouTube, and they're going to flag it, and then they're going to say, yes, we flagged it because of copyright infringement. And so what we've done, instead of deleting your video, is we've put an ad into your video. But we don't have ads on our videos because we actually pay for the stuff.
And what about if, so thinking around that, maybe, and I'm not sure if this would work, maybe I'm looking for see what you think about this. We can take our whole service by that thing. But what if like I or somebody could bring their computer like this, get it set up kind of in a corner, maybe over here where I'm watching Reverend Eric speak, and I just live stream the minute he comes up to talk, live stream his stuff, and when we say thank you and we all clap, then I end live stream him on my computer, so that this we can still do whatever we need to do, but that could just live stream the sermon.
Yeah, we did that before too, but then our internet connection got really slow. No, it's just, so that's ideal. You can do that.
I
And
think this isn't, I don't know, is this on the internet right now?
No,
So
we can't.
this is so bad.
That's just it doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi.
is that a GoPro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If I've been bringing in with my computer, or I mean, the churches would be great too, but
You could even do on your phone. I mean, most smartphones will stream at an incredible rate. And so, yeah, I mean, you won't have to worry about, it being too choppy. So what I would do is get a stand, stream, or get on your phone and just do it from your phone on a stand, and just have somebody in case, there's a lot of movement, and, or, in case Reverend Eric's like, I'm going to do a backflip real quick, and, cartwheels, and then, so you can follow him through that course of excitability. He looks like he's got, some fire inside, so I won't put it past him. So next week, expect it.
that could work then. That's not using the internet, right? I mean, and when we do the PowerPoint stuff, still using the
No.
internet, you think?
No, we're not
Okay, so
using the
looks like
internet.
nothing is.
Yeah, so turn off what's your bandwidth look like?
Oh, we have I want to say we have fiber optic.
We got it pretty up so that we could work on uploading videos, which is what our main problem was before.
Okay.
We upped it in a good way, so
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe we should
I think we have.
trial run it, but
Yeah, always do a trial run and do it during, I would say, do it during a time that's comparable to your Sunday. You might not get too much where people are. I mean, and you're the only ones on how many, I guess, computers are hooked up?
Nobody has access.
Then you're good to go. We have like 30 computers hooked up to our system, and we have people who have our password, and so every once in a while I have to change it because the teachers give it out for classes, and I'm just like, why are we so slow? Why is this streaming this way? And then I'm like, everybody's getting kicked off because I'm changing the password right now. And so
Stream showing the church around, like taking people around the church, like, this is our church, this is so exciting, look at our kids' room, look at our amazing sanctuary, we're going to start live streaming more, keep a watch out every Sunday at Hawaii Standard Time, we're going to try this out and see how that works as like a
you can do, Facebook allows you to do an intro video as well now. So yeah, learn to do intro videos. So that can be all like computer graphics and stuff like that. Like some churches do a countdown, like day of, and then they're like, 2 minutes till, the big show or whatever. And then they count it down. It looks pretty cool. And they have music playing. You can have affirmations, whatever it is that you want to have for that. And then, once you know that, okay, Reverend Eric's about to get up, and, then you can, hit start and start playing. I mean, just start recording, and then after the service. But I wouldn't be too worried about the music. So what some places do also, and I'm not sure if they have a licensing or video or music licensing, but they'll also do credits. So you can do, so if you know that you're going to be singing this song, that song, whatever, on a certain Sunday, you can put it on there, on the verbiage, like, we do not own the rights to this music, credits, here are the credits to what's happening. So, and then that usually helps out as well, because Facebook will allow you to do like parodies and, things like that, as long as you're not calling the music your own. So you're not saying, you know what, I'm Kayla and I just made this song and it's really Drake that made it, So it's, no, you gotta give credit where credit's due. And, but I would definitely look and see what your licensing says, because you could be, if you pay for it, chances are you can actually start doing that, and just always give credit. So that's the safe thing.
What I'm involved is that there's levels of license. Our license allows us to play the music, but not to share.
Okay, so you have, we have a C license. So, yeah, so I don't know which license you have, but we have a level C. And so, and I think that allows us to do, maybe have more flexibility. And I just paid because I also paid the church bills as well. So, it was, I think, $350 per year. And, if you break that down per month, and you can start a fund for that, our marketing fund or our music ministry fund or whatever you want to call that. So, and actually be marketing fund, because we want to broadcast our message to the world. And would you help us? Would you be willing to, and it's going to, $300 and something divided by 12 is how much a month. That means each one of you is only giving, 38 cents to this cause. Will you, do this for us, or whatever it is? People are willing, once you have a price for them to meet and the call to action, people usually are more than willing. I remember one time, it was one Sunday, our microphones weren't working well. By the end of service, we had $5,000 to get new microphones. So, I mean, that's it. And all Reverend Levitt Thomas said was like, sounds like we need new microphones, who would be, who would love to donate to that? He didn't actually do it in a serious tone, and somebody did after they said, well, give me a number, and, give me a price. And so we went back there, okay, each one cost $1,000, we got 5 new ones. So, or whatever whatchamacallit, but it was around 5,000, so, because we get these different ones with the radio transmitter thingies, but it was definitely a great investment. So, and you just let people know the needs. Give them a price. Like, it's going to cost us 22 cents to get this. Who wants to? And you'll get 22 people who are willing to give us an each, So, it's just, people really just need to be told what the need is, and they'll fill it. Okay, so, now, do you guys have a Meetup account at all? Okay, so I don't know how Meetup on Honolulu is pretty active. So if you're new to the community or new to the island, you can join a Meetup group and find people with similar interests as you. And I know that Unity in, not in Kaneohe, Unity Windward was doing this for a while, where they were having Meetup groups. And so up to, I think, 25 participants, like if you have, people who want to come to your event or what have you, is free, and then afterwards you're paying like $50 a year. But to subscribe to this, where you can always put your listings or your celebrations. Microphone, there we go. Celebrations on this meetup website, and then it's going to notify anybody who has. You can say, okay, this event's about spirituality, or this talk is going to be about, puppets or whatever. And the people who have marked puppets as one of my interests, and spirituality as well, it'll pop up and it'll send them an email like, Unity of Kona is going to have an event on Friday the whatever day, and it's from 6 until 8 p.m. You might be interested, will you attend? And so they can hit yes, and then it'll send them a reminder. So it's one of the ways that you can kind of gain interest in, but I don't know how it works on this island, unfortunately. Does anybody know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people signed in and a lot of people looking. How many people actually show up? It's hard numbers, but it gives a lot of information.
And seeing that's perfect, and you can even market if you're having a big event or a big something. You can, people in Hilo as well. So people would be willing to drive. What is it, an hour and a half or an hour? Oh, really? Ooh, okay. Some people might be willing to drive the 2 hours to come here and, see that, you have a certain event going on. And so I would highly recommend just looking into it, creating an account for Unity of Kona, and marketing some stuff initially on there, because it is for free initially. But then as you start to grow, then that's when the price tag comes into play, and it's about $50 a year. Okay. Boom. Okay, so this is the way you could use. Do you have a Twitter account? Do you know? Okay. Okay, so Twitter, what churches usually use Twitter for are these. To quote scripture verses, to announce Sunday sermon topic, to share prayer requests. Well, and if it's like, if there was some type of community, sending prayers to those affected by the wildfires in Maui or something like that, you could put up there for like a prayer request. Or we're asking everybody to join in prayer at 6 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time for Mauna Kea. Exactly. And so you could do that and reach and have your and people could share that, or just really, or comment on it, like, all prayed up and stuff like that way. Now, Twitter, like I said, I use it, but I use it as a link into everything else that I'm doing. So it automatically posts to my Twitter. So I'm not sure if anybody subscribes to Donald Trump's Twitter. It's not like that. He, I think, tweets 5 to 7 times. It is funny, and it's a spiritual practice to not get worked up. So I just allow the peace of God to remain unmoved every time Donald decides that he's going to say something. Whether I just, it's just because I told Reverend Tim, the previous senior minister at Unity Church of Hawaii, he saw a tweet during our worship team meeting. He's like, "Why are you getting stuff from Donald Trump from?" I'm like, "Ew, this is a spiritual practice." Yeah, well, no, I don't want to know. I don't care what he says. This is the thing. That's of no interest to me. What's of interest is just to remain peaceful. Even if he says tomorrow, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, whatever things that come out of his mouth, is that how much does this move me? And if I can still remain peaceful, so that's how I use it as a spiritual practice, to not be affected by it. Yes, so take those notes, everybody. This is just Donald Trump as a spiritual practice. Yeah.
Be informed as to what somebody might be saying, and I'll say, "Oh, yeah, I did hear that," and gosh, I have some thoughts on it. Yeah.
And so this one is actually old information. I thought I updated this slide. Facebook is not the #1 platform anymore. So Snapchat is actually. Yes. So, but Facebook is for your community going to be your number one. Your number one, yeah. So this is from 2015 from Pew Research Center. But so this is old statistics, but the thing is that they came out with a 2017 and it didn't look too much different. It still was around the comparable side, or for our demographics or for our churches, we're still looking at the same stuff. But this is what we look. Men will always be using social media a little bit less than women. So women are people that you're going to probably expect who are communicating a bit more on social media. And remember, it's going to be a little bit different with these Hawaiian Islands. So Pew Research is a great research company that really looks at the growth of churches through a certain period of time using, just various research criteria that they have. And so if you go onto their website, you can actually kind of glean what some of the things that other churches are doing to grow and what they're finding. So we're different because our growth here on the islands, and you're even different than what Oahu is, because this is a bit more rural than what we have in Honolulu. Honolulu is just, there's a tiny bit. We have 2 or 3 more people on our island than y'all do. And, but what we find is that, so in the Hawaiian Islands, and I was talking to somebody about the unchurched. So traditional Christianity talks about this church versus unchurched. People who don't really go to church or whatever, who have never been or have stopped going. And on the mainland, it is 30%. Here, it's 60%. 60% of people are not going to church here on the Hawaiian Islands. And so what does that mean for you? That means that you have this beautiful, so they're not committed to any other spiritual community. So, basically the world is our oyster when it comes to church growth. And other churches are growing here, by the way. Well, I can say for Oahu, if I go to another church service, let's say that maybe on a Sunday I get 240 people that come through our doors for a Sunday service. At other churches, they can expect 2,000 to 3,000. So this is the thing, is that we have the smaller churches that are still feeling quite comfortable, but then we have these enormous churches. People are looking for a message that they resonate with. But if they never know that you exist, then they don't know, then they're not sitting in your seats, or they're not subscribed to your newsletter, or they're not looking on your accounts or social media accounts. So really getting us out there, getting this new thought out there, getting the unity principles out there is important, because the thing is that when you start to kind of put these in practice, you do see these differences in your life. And if you can see and feel a difference, then it's valuable. Right now we have a valuable message, but no medium that we're using to convey that to people. People don't know what they don't know. And they don't miss what they don't know. Okay, everybody uses Facebook, I'm going to assume, because we should always assume as people, right? Right. So, assuming is really good for a community. I'm joking. You should never assume. But how many people don't have a Facebook account here? All right. So everybody, how many people use Facebook at least 3 times a week? Okay. How many people use Facebook at least 10 times a week? What about at least 10 times a day? Okay, so we have 1, 2, which means that there's opportunities to get a fresh message out to people from Unity of Kona with a brilliant quote from Charles Fillmore, or I was about to say Lady Fillmore, Myrtle Fillmore, from the First Lady. You have these beautiful, you have Eric Butterworth quotes that you could do. There's just this rich information that's out there, and you can put it on a beautiful picture. And where can you get these pictures? Well, go to the mountains, go to the beach, take a picture of a flower. It doesn't matter. You have everything that you need, from photography to the quotes. All you need is a person who's willing to put the two together and post it. And so they're everything. You don't need a professional photographer. There's filters on cameras now. It can look professional if you want to. And then I'll show you photo editing software that you can use to really create a professional looking picture as well. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I was just, oh, okay. Well, very well, carry on. So, and then if people are posting, let's say that you post something from the ocean and you put a beautiful Charles Fillmore quote on there and somebody responds like, just, whatever it is, always be interacting with them. People like a little bit of interaction. And once you get bigger, then you'll have a team of people that can watch and check and respond too. But if a comment calls for an interaction or response, the worst thing to do to a fan of yours is to have them post something and then it just remain there with no like, no nothing. Then it's not really an active page. It's not a page that you can trust. It's just, it's just kind of, yeah, exactly. It's it's stagnant, and you can lose fans that way, or people are just stop going to your page after a while, especially if they're asking, what time are Sunday services, or this was a beautiful quote, or where does that picture come from? Have somebody respond back to them. Check your inbox to your social media frequently. A lot of times people are looking to do events at your center, or looking for prayer support, what have you, and I find that a lot of Unity communities are not responding back to them. And there's some important stuff that's happening in your inboxes on your page, and it's 3 months later when somebody sees that, oh, such and such band wanted to come and give a New Thought concert for free and donate tithes to us, but we missed out on that opportunity because nobody was watching the page. Okay, hashtag. Does everybody know how to use a hashtag properly? Okay, so properly, no. I know I have a friend oh, go ahead. I'll explain it to you. Yeah, so I have a friend that does hashtag, these are the best donuts ever. Hashtag, I don't like donuts. Hashtag, really love me. So people have started to use hashtags as a way of just really mucking up the social media chain. But what hashtags are great for is that if I put a hashtag 12 powers, right, and I click on it, so a hashtag tells the computer to go somewhere. And anybody else who is hashtagged or identified that this post is about that, then it takes them to an entire page of posts that are just like that. So you can do a hashtag Unity of Kona, and then it'll take the user to all your posts that have hashtag Unity of Kona. Or let's say you want to hashtag Charles Fillmore stuff, like everything that is Charles Fillmore related, every post, then you hashtag it. So it's just a way of identifying, almost like categorizing it in a library. That's what it is. Well, I'm using, no. So yes, for Instagram and for Facebook. So I got to see about Twitter. I'm not sure, but it may be. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing, is that Twitter is for me is automatically posted. So I'd have to do some, and I care very infrequently about Twitter just because my fan base is not there. And as we grow more and more, I will, as my marketing team looks to grow and my strategic planning team works with the marketing team, then we're going to start looking at those things. Right now, I don't even have the time to make sure I have on toenail polish. So, and I do. I just looked. Thanks. Yes, ma'am. Okay. the hashtag lives in a lonely place. So the hashtag, so it's like a library. So let's say that I want to know all the things about cooking with asparagus. So I'm going to hashtag asparagus. Hashtag asparagus. And what that does is that it takes you directly to that shelf in the library that has everything about asparagus. Other people who have identified that their post is about asparagus. Yeah, you click on the hashtag.
It's like a link. Yeah.
It's a link to everything about asparagus. So others that have posted, not just your daughter who's posted or somebody, but anybody who did that same hashtag, it'll take you to their posts and it just have a list of them.
It's like a way to categorize data. Like some people, like on Instagram, one of the hashtags you'll see on like every single Instagram post that deals with Hawaii is "Lucky to live Hawaii."
Yep.
And so then you'll look at that, and it'll connect you. If you click on that, it'll connect you to every single post that anybody who hashtagged "Lucky to live Big Island." Or that "Lucky to live Hawaii." So you get billions.
So you get to see other people's lives and why they're so lucky to live in Hawaii. That's all it is yeah, so they've categorized it. Yeah, so.
I really like physics, and you're like, ooh, hashtag physics, okay, physics.
And everything.
Physics ever, and hashtags that you'll suddenly get like NASA, and then all these.
Exactly. So if you want to know more about a certain subject, asparagus, you click on it and it'll show you everybody that's posted, because apparently you have enough time in your life to look through everything about asparagus is what is happening. So, but it's exactly, it just categorizes it. It helps to compartmentalize information so it's easier to find. And then you can see people who have like posts. So, and why is it useful? Well, let's just say that you want to do vinegar recipes because you like vinegar. And so you do the hashtag vinegar recipes. It's going to show you everybody that did that, and usually it's going to be a recipe about vinegar. And so you get to find some specific information that you may be curious about. So yeah, ingrown toenails, hashtag ingrown toenails. Well, then you might find the cure for your ingrown toenails. Don't look that up. Let's just say that, no, it's just going to show me everybody that's posted about it. So it's just generalized information about, it's just posts. It's not giving me anything factual. It's just all of the people on Facebook or whatever social media that have posted with this same hashtag suddenly get brought up to this page, exact one category. No. And it might be better if you do see it. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you something real quick. Let's say I posted an asparagus recipe, and then she posted an asparagus recipe, he posted one, and they might all be different, so if you hashtag it, you're going to see my recipe, her recipe, his recipe.
Hashtag asparagus, and then get everything because it's not posted.
It's another way of saying people are looking to find what they don't know they don't know. So they know they want to know something about this category.
So that's what the post has to work. And then I put one hashtag. Cat. Love my job. Eating the mom. Cat. Recipe cat. Like wow. So then I'll click say work cat. Hashtag work cat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then it's just everybody who posts photos of work cat.
There we go. So I brought up 12 powers. So everybody that's used 12 powers, I clicked on, and so now it shows me all the posts of whatever has 12 powers on it. So that's, so it kind of helps to organize that. So if I wanted, let's say 12 powers, I'm interested in that, then I can just do that hashtag, and now I see all the posts that have 12 powers in them, or that hashtag 12 powers. You hashtag 12 powers, or hashtag, or if you posted something, a quote by Charles Fillmore, hashtag Charles Fillmore. And it's a great way to kind of like, help. And I think that it really is a community agreement to do that, because it helps people. I think it's a shortcut to, instead of me scouring somewhere, it also on the social media platform allows me to find particular bits of information or interests. And so you can do it, you don't have to do it, but a lot of people do it just because they want that to be kind of part of the archive of this subject. So.
Like, I see you getting up there,
So let's click on Unity Philippines thing right here, Unity. Let's see how many different, oops, let me click on the actual thing. There we go. Unity. Let's see how many posts are about Unity. So here you go, you got Unity of Kona. Oh, look at that. So Unity, just all the, and so, oh, here's another thing. Another thing about your hashtags, usually it's going to show you, because of the algorithm, it's going to show you stuff that you've already liked before, you visited pages. So it's kind of customized based on your previous searches and your previous connections. So it's, there's a lot of, because I associate